Hello buddy, Insane Frame here and welcome to another video. In our last video we did Fallout 4 as a raider. That was a heck of a lot of fun and really good. So today we're going to try a fun challenge, which is can you beat Fallout New Vegas with a Ranger Sequoia? Now full disclosure, I've never used a Ranger Sequoia, so this will be interesting, but the Ranger Sequoia is a very powerful revolver that does high damage and holds 5 rounds. Obtaining it is going to be very interesting, so we're going to have to go all over the map, but once we get the Ranger Sequoia all our problems will be solved. Also, I'd like to shout out a friend who runs a YouTube channel called Corro. He's very close to 1,000 subscribers as of making this video, and he also runs a Twitch channel too, which is always a good laugh. Anyway, it would mean a lot if you could check him out, and we're going to get back to the video at hand. So with the Ranger Sequoia, our chosen weapon, and a buddy shout out, let's go over the rules. We may only use the Ranger Sequoia in battle. No glitches or exploits, no cheating or modding, and we're going to be playing on survival difficulty with hardcore enabled. With the rules set, let's go ahead and begin the game. We start the game and have Doc Mitchell greet us. He asks for our name. We go ahead and name ourselves Scorpio, as if we're from a movie of sorts. As Mr. Scorpio, we look wonderful and get to decide our special stats. We go for 6 strength, 7 perception, 5 endurance, 1 charisma, 7 intelligence, 7 agility, and 7 luck. A lot of 7s, but it's New Vegas, so it kind of fits the theme. We then get to tag 3 skills, raising the score, so we're better at what we do. For newer players to the Fallout franchise, just know that the higher the number is on screen, the better we are at the chosen skill. So we decide to go for guns, sneak, and survival, raising their scores respectively. Lastly, we have traits. You can consider these trade-offs to specialise your character further at a cost. These are completely optional and you can go for a maximum of 2, so we go for exactly that. The first one we go for is hot-blooded, so every time we fall below 50% health, we gain a 10% damage boost, but -2 to our agility and perception respectively. Very good for high damaging weapons. Our next trait is fast shot, so we shoot 20% faster but are 20% less accurate. I mainly picked this one because if we have a tough target, it could net us that extra damage we need to help us out. Before we leave, Doc Mitchell gives us a Pip-Boy and we activate hardcore mode, so we have to watch our food and water supply. Otherwise we can die or get stat penalties. Lovely. We go to Shet and sell some stuff and buy a shovel. We go ahead and do some digging in the Good Springs Cemetery, and we also get the snow globe for later. With our brief dealings in Good Springs concluded, we set our sights on getting a Ranger Sequoia, as we won't get far without one. Our first task is to make our way to Helios 1 and go from there, so we set off from Good Springs. We go to the Hidden Valley and slip through the area with a crater, and we avoid the wildlife there. We then get a friendly warning from a super mutant and clamber amongst some rocks, avoiding death claws respectively. We manage to get to the trading post and shortly after get to Helios 1, meaning we're close to our destination. And before long we get to Camp Forlorn Hope. Once there we speak to the lovely Tech Sergeant Reyes, and she states some of the radio security codes have been breached, so we need to update them accordingly, which is fair enough. We get a fair few stations that we need to visit across the map, so Ranger Station Delta is first. We speak to Comms Officer Sheffer, who's to the point, which is wonderful. On our way to Station Echo, we encounter some fire geckos, which are not fun. The Legion people don't fare too well, and we loot the bodies and disguise ourselves as a Legion recruit. We use our disguise to get past the checkpoint and continue on. We then get someone to take us to their commander, which is fair enough. We comply, and they want us to destroy Camp Forlorn. We simply leave and pretend like nothing happens. Even if we want to help the Legion out, we can't attack, and Tech Sergeant Reyes is counting on us. We make it in the nick of time to Camp Echo, and some geckos that were chasing us get into the camp. But the Rangers deal with them for us, so thank you Rangers. We loot the ones that didn't make it. We then hand the code and upgrade their radio station. Ranger Station Charlie is next, which is very straightforward, so all is good for this radio station. We fast travel to the trading post, sell our ill-gotten gains, then report to Station Alpha, which is another one checked off the list. 2 more stations to report to. Camp's Foxtrot is an absolute nightmare as we get poisoned by the bugs, and it's just a huge slog out in the literal woods. But the trees are nice, and then we hand over the codes. With the last Ranger Station, we go to Ranger Station Alpha and swim across the lake so we can move north from the shore. Our plan works really well and we manage to get to Camp Bravo. We also level up, and from all the exploring out there we put our points into guns. As for our perk, we go for rapid reload, so all weapons reload 25% faster. We drop the radio upgrade off and report back to the wonderful Sergeant Rays. We hand everything in and she looks over it and wants us to go back out to see if the reports make any sense. We go to Camp Foxtrot and the Ranger says the report is a bunch of crap, which is fair enough. Camp Alpha next and the Ranger has some firm words applying it's a BS report, so we'll take their word for it. And lastly, we approach Ranger Passon, who denies the Legion had any super mutant soldiers, making all the reports a bust. We report back to Sergeant Rays once again and she wants us to confront Chief Hanlon about the reports and tells us to go to Camp Golf. The house is quite fancy and we confront Hanlon with the evidence in hand and he wants us to go somewhere private. We speak to Chief Hanlon in his office, so we decide to turn him in. He locks the door, makes a speech, and when it's all over a gunshot is heard. We quickly go in and pick up the Ranger Sequoia without the Ranger noticing. To be honest, I didn't think we could get it this fast, but there you go. We also level up and put all of our points into guns. We let Sergeant Rays know what happened. All's well that ends well, so we can attack things now. After walking towards the entrance of New Vegas, we shoot a fiend in the face and we level up from it. We put all of our points into guns again, and as for our perk, we go for the perk Run and Gun, so our accuracy penalties are reduced while running or walking. When we get to the New Vegas Strip, we go ahead and get to the Lucky 38 Casino. We go on in and meet Mr. House and we get straight down to business. Mr. House says he wants Benny out of the picture, and before we go to the Tops Casino, we get the snow globe from the cocktail lounge and then hand them into June for 4,000 caps. Make our way to the Tops Casino, we hand over our weapons and then see Benny walking down the stairs, giving us a level up. We put all of our points into guns again, a recurring theme with our level ups, but we have 89 guns now. But we do need a touch more preparation before we are ready to take Benny out. So we go to Freeside and begin annihilating the Kings, one after another, putting bullets left, right and centre. Before long, we level up. We max out our guns to 100 and put points into speech. For our perk, we go for Bloody Mess, so our attacks do an additional 5% damage. We talk to Swanks for our speech up scratch from a skill magazine and our level up, and he lets us carry our Ranger Sequoia in the casino. Benny's bodyguards see us and begin trying to attack us. It goes really badly for them, as most of them are just one-shotted. We confront Benny and he seems surprised that we're alive, and we don't take any of his jibber jabber. We show him what for by going straight into VATS before doing the good old headshot. It suits him so well. We go ahead and take the platinum chip and level up. We go to Mr. House and deliver the platinum chip. Mr. House is then really pleased with us and it fulfills his plan. We get to observe the Securitrons in the basement as they're upgraded to Securitron Mark IIs, and the upgrade has spread to all of New Vegas thanks to Mr. House's broadcast. Our next mission is to go to Bunker Hill, so we travel to Cottonwood Cove and get to Bunker Hill to meet Kaiser. He wants us to kill Mr. House, little does he know what we're actually up to. When we arrive at the weather station, our weapons are returned to us, so we have our Ranger Sequoia again. Mr. House appears on a smaller monitor and he asks that we use the chip to wake up the army Securitrons that lay dormant here. We kill a Protectron, level up, and we put points into melee weapons, and for our perk we select Gunslinger, so our accuracy is increased with the Ranger Sequoia. We shoot many Protectrons and turrets with little to no trouble and get the Securitrons activated, just like Mr. House asked of us. We return to Kaiser, he is none the wiser, so we return to New Vegas. We go to the medical clinic and decide to go for 2 implants. One gives us +1 intelligence and one gives +1 luck, which is most excellent. We report back to Mr. House and he wants the Nick Nitro followers, aka the Boomers, on our side. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We also level up and go for 45 melee weapons, ready for our next level up. We report to the NCR at Camp McCarran so we can do a couple of side quests. Colonel James Hugh gives us a lead to locate a traitor, which is simple enough. We talk to Captain Curtis and he says we need to talk to people, which confirms it's him, but we play along. We talk to Corporal Sterling, who's very experienced, and says that a light appears at 1 AM in the control tower. We speak to Lieutenant Boyd, who gives us a key to the tower, and we find, surprise surprise, Captain Curtis, who tried to use bureaucracy against us, but a few hollow points into his face sets him straight. We report to Colonel James Hugh again, and as soon as we get to the monorail, it leaves and we report back in to hand the quest in, but at least it's concluded. We start another quest to locate a missing soldier, so we speak to the delightful Miss Dazzle, who kindly points us the right direction. We get to the farm and speak to another person called Trent Bascom, who sends us to an NCR lieutenant, who points us to the culprit. Anderson is then shot to pieces and he's killed our guy, so he's gotta go. We go report back to Lieutenant Boyd and she's glad of our success, so we level up and we put our points into explosives. And as for our perk, we go for Cowboy, so our damage skyrockets by 25%. We also find the Fiend Bounty Hunter side quest, and little did I realise how bloody mess makes this difficult, getting intact heads. But still, Driver Neffy is up first, testing our accuracy, which is interesting, but we clip Driver Neffy and let him chase us, and we end him and put him down. 1 down, 2 to go. Cook is next, and we do much the same and snipe his minions. Then we go ahead and destroy Cook in a one-on-one, which is awesome, and we take his head. Lastly, we have Violet, and normally this can be difficult due to being swarmed, but this time not really, as we stop many doggos and take cover until Violet is right next to us, so we shoot her in the face, which is hilarious. We hand in all the heads and get a bunch of caps and a lot of XP, with a level up coming our way. We put our points into explosives, and with our business concluded with the side quests, we get back to the main story. We dodged the boomer's artillery perfectly, and once the knacker's down, it's child's play. We have a stern talking to from Raquel and are taken to Mother Pearl, and we decide we want to help out. So we go to the museum, swipe the snow globe, and listen to the history and ask questions accordingly to get brownie points. We also go deal with an ant problem without a second thought. It's really easy, and we get the power back on. We ask Loyal if we can help, and he wants the solar panels repaired, which is easy, as we head to Helios 1 to salvage some previous panels and go back to repair all the solar panels. Loyal is happy with us, and we level up and we put our points into medicine, and the perk we go for is finesse, so we get more critical hits in combat, equivalent to 5 points of luck. We speak to Pearl, and she says to ask Loyal about the lady in the water, so we ask Loyal about the lady in the water, and he says a bomber is at the bottom of the lake. Since we passed there earlier to get to Camp Bravo, we fast travel there and attach the air ballast and use Loyal's detonator to lift the bomber up to the surface. We speak to Loyal, he's ecstatic, and Pearl says she's willing to help us at Hoover Dam, which is amazing. Mr. House is happy with us, and then he sends us to deal with the Omertas next. We charge in guns blazing and manage to kill a good deal of Omertas, gaining a fair few caps to boot as well. Much to Mr. House's displeasure though, as he is not impressed with us. However, we move on to the next mission and we have to deal with the Brotherhood of Steel. Before we go ahead and get another implant, the subdermal implant, so we get a permanent +4 armor, which is really nice. We go to the Hidden Valley and the Brotherhood try to arrest us, however we slip through, but a paladin sees us and takes us to Elder McNamara. Elder McNamara states we need to deal with an NCR Ranger. We shoot out his radio and he doesn't like that, so we do what we always do and shoot him in the face, as it works very well. Once we report back to Elder McNamara, he's not happy with us but foolishly removes Scorpion's collar, so we get to work. Once we're given free reign, we immediately go to the head paladin and plant a round in his head and take everything we need off him, including a key card. Next up, we pickpocket the Elder McNamara's key card, lovely, and finally we kill the head scribe and his assistant in classic fashion. We take the rose and generate a self-destruct code. We initiate this self-destruct sequence and use the robe to disguise ourselves as we run out. We make sure to shoot a few more people in the face as we leave, and once outside, the place explodes. With our work complete, we report to Mr. House. He states that President Kimball is coming to visit to raise NCR morale, but he hasn't considered the possibility of being assassinated, which is where we come in. We arrive at Hoover Dam and the first thing we do is grab a mechanic jumpsuit. We report into Ranger Grant and he has everyone in place, so we can get to work. First things first though, we get another snow globe. This one is the Hoover Dam one on the front desk. We see the Vertibird incoming, and once it's arrived we see the President walking to the stage. So with the mechanic jumpsuit we go to the landing pad and we go to the Vertibird to defuse the bomb, which is really good. Next up, we decide to take out the Legion sniper in the tower behind, and we get up top and question the apparent Ranger. He loses his cool and decides to attack us, which is foolish of him, and ends in his head being removed. We call in on the radio and the event is cancelled, but the President is safe and sound. We report back to Mr. House, who is delighted, and we manage to pull off the mission. Our last quest is to power up a substation, so without killing anyone, we simply run in and switch it on and run back out again. Simple, but certainly effective. Once back at the Lucky 38, we hand in all of our snow globes, netting us 4,000 caps, so we repair our armour and report back to Mr. House. He says it's time, so we get a prompt and we are most certainly ready, so we click it and so it begins. Once deployed at Hoover Dam, we level up, we put points into medicine and go for the Adamantium Skeleton perk, which reduces our limb damage by 50%, which is excellent. We fight our way through some Centurions, which is pretty easy thanks to the bodies and support on the field, and we continue onwards and see the Boomers return with a bomber, which is single-handedly the coolest thing in any Fallout game ever. Beautiful. We get to the control room and we take out one of the guards and let the Securitron deal with the other one and an NCR trooper, saving our reputation in the process. We install the override chip and Mr. House is in the system. Once we start the power up, all is well, and when we get outside we cross the bridge, but the Securitrons do the heavy lifting for us and take most of the Legion out along the way. We make our way into the Legates camp and pull out our secret weapon against the Praetorians, which is hollow point rounds. They do more damage against unarmored opponents, and since their face doesn't have armor, we shoot them in the face, and our Securitron also helps, which is really nice, making the Legates camp really easy. Now for the final boss of the game, the Legate. This was a lot harder than I initially thought, as our damage is superb, but we only have 5 rounds, so we had to reload a lot. And the Legate likes to throw explosives as well, so we continuously try for about 2 hours, but we get lucky as we unload and get a decent amount of damage and critical hits. And for some reason, the Legate begins speaking to us. Not question it, we take the opening and use VATS on the Legate and get lucky as he's done for. A victory is a victory, and his Praetorians are mincemeat to our high damage, so we're home free. General Oliver bursts through and he is not happy with the terms of surrender papers that Mr. House has printed for him. He's in way over his head, and we managed to place a few shots in his face, and we had a lot of shoots to the face today, but that's the final one, as Mr. House comes up to us and congratulates us in person, so all is fantastic. Ending the run, answering the question, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with the Ranger Sequoia? And yes you can. Wow, that run was fantastic. Always loved using revolvers and that in the Fallout series, and the Ranger Sequoia is no different. It packs a huge punch and was awesome. As an added bonus, it was actually a lot easier to get, so yes, came up trumps there. Next week though, we're going to be doing Can You Beat Fallout New Vegas as Driver Neffy. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really good. And also, thank you very much for watching. It's absolutely amazing that you guys are awesome and you are so fantastic. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yes, take care. You guys are amazing. You are awesome. And this is Insane Frame signing out. Have a good one, everybody.